I never dreamed of climbing Mount Everest, but out of the blue, I wanted to photograph it. That means I have to prepare myself extensively, but knowing my limitations, I know outright that is impossible. But do you know you can reach the top without scaling it? In fact, there are ways to conquer it without even climbing Everest. And one such way is to take a plane ride to the Himalayas. That gives one the rare opportunity of almost touching the tallest mountain in the world as the plane flies at a safe distance to the southern side of Mount Everest. This is what I'm about to show you as you desire to conquer that famous mountain. One of the best locals I've known in Kathmandu who can help one get closer to the famous mountain is Bisno Namsal. But before we go to Mount Everest, let me bring you to some interesting places in Kathmandu that you should not miss while in Nepal. From the airport, a taxi ride would bring you to Tamel, a bustling, visitor-friendly place where almost everything one would need are in this area. Hotels, spas, shops, restaurants and eateries, market and stores, and bars with live band and music. Everything is cheap. Your US dollar will bring you a long way to enjoy Nepal. In the heart of the old city are maze-like alleys and crowded streets, populated by tourists and residents alike. Rickshaws and cars competing for space, as well as shops and stores that makes Tamil alive and vibrant. An hour taxi ride from Tamel to Bhaktapur is something you should not miss too. It is the best preserved place in Nepal, known as the City of Culture, where old houses are very much kept alive by the traditional brass making, wood carving, and pottery making. The biggest pond in Bhaktapur, built in the 15th century, greets one as she enters the City of Culture. Bhaktapur is a place where the past meets the present, as they say. Yet Bhaktapur is slowly rebuilding itself from the 2015 earthquake that destroyed 604,930 houses, buildings, and structures. And the destruction are still very much evident as one goes around Tamel and its neighboring places. Also, make sure you see Pasupatina Temple, a place where cremation is in full view of the people. It is performed on an elevated platform that burns the dead person to ashes on the banks of Bagnati River that flows to the Ganges River in India. It is the belief of Hindus and Buddhists that nothing lasts forever, and by witnessing death as it undergoes cremation, it is the best way to understand how temporary life is on this earth. In this age of modern technology, you'll be amazed to find a place in Bhaktapur devoted to preserving the age-old pottery craft of Nepal, still using some of the primitive tools they have been used to. The place known as Ta Umadhi Pottery Square you'll see Nepalis as they work hard with their mud and clay, bending their backs under the sun, laying and drying rows and rows of freshly made clay-based pottery, shaped into spectacular vessels out of bare hands and their potter's wheel in the courtyard of the square. Now, let's go to Mount Everest, this famous and the highest mountain in the world that continues to captivate the hearts and imaginations of mountaineers and rock climbers around the globe, and those thrill seekers and risk takers in pursuing the tallest mountain on earth. Many have fallen in love with it, whose alluring beauty can be deadly. Just by climbing the summit alone, one can perish right there on the pinnacle or expire on the way down to the base. And to think that to be able to climb the lofty peak, one needs to raise from $28,000 to $85,000 to pay for the expedition to the top and way down below. So our best bet to see the summit of the world's highest mountain without undergoing so much physical exertion or having so much money to shell out is to charter a flight to the apex. Two of the regular aircrafts that fly close to Mount Everest are Buddha and Yeti Air. I took the latter. From the airport, a shuttle bus brings the thrill seekers and Mount Everest enthusiasts to the plane of 2 rows each, served by a pretty Nepalese stewardess, so everyone could have a good window to enjoy the Himalayan mountains. When the plane is not fully booked, there are enough windows to enjoy. It is an hour flight that gives everyone a view of the Himalayan mountains, such as Mount Nuptse, Mount Makalu, Mount Choyu-Oyu, Mount Annapuma, Mount Manaslu, Mount Kanchenjunga, Mount Daulangin, and of course, Mount Everest, plus the other mountain peaks in the Himalayas. When the plane is close to Mount Everest, the pilots allow viewing of the Himalayas from the cockpit, a rare opportunity for photography buff. It gives one the feeling of being so close to the mountain, almost touching it, and yet actually still in a safe distance from the bluff to avoid any accident that the notoriously unpredictable weather down below might bring to the plane. The photos that follow are proofs that one can be on top of the famous mountain peak without necessarily climbing it, and thus successfully romance Mount Everest. If you find this travel video interesting, please click on the subscribe button and the bell notification so I can create another equally interesting travel video and notify you as well. If you have any questions or comments, please write them down below and I will address them accordingly. And don't forget to share if you will, please. Have a nice day, guys, and see you on my next travel video.